Hello. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Good, good, good. Okay. Oh. The power went out. Just kidding. Oh my god, it magically came back on. Oh, it magically went out. So we're gonna start with the first 3 people that are here, as always. And I will tell you who that is right now. And then, so we'll do the first 3 free, and then we will do donation readings. Okay, so let me make sure this is looking good. All right. Hi, Rinky. Hi, Di, or Di. Cosmo. Shruti. Okay. So we have Rinky, Di, and Cosmo as the first 3. So you guys are going to get the free reading. And then okay, so for you guys, yeah, you're gonna get a free general. Awesome, yay! So whoever's here now, go ahead and like this video, please, if you can, for me. That would be awesome. I'd really appreciate that. And I will go ahead and start with Rinky. This is a free general for Rinky. Free general for Rinky. We want to know what's going on generally in Rinky's life right now. What's a message for them? Okay. First of all, we have the Empress. It could mean pregnancy. A lot of times it does. But it could also just represent a new beginning. So, I mean, don't get carried away there if you're worried about it too much. You know, it could just be the birth of something. Something, you know, the start of something. And it could have to do with money or possessions or something of material worth, you know, something that's like an actual item, not an emotion, you know, but something that you can like touch and feel and taste, and you know, you can see it. It's like an actual thing. And so here it could I feel like it could be saying that you're going to be taking a rest. With the 4 of Swords here, it could be saying that you're going to be taking a rest from things that are more material, you know, like this is a new beginning. And instead of being this way, which is materialistic, or someone who's very focused on material items and money, it's going to be more, you know, you taking a rest on that. So let's see, you're going to be taking a break from that kind of a lifestyle or attitude. The moon here represents Pisces. It can also represent confusion or mixed messages, things that are unclear. So it's kind of like after this, during this break or after it, you're kind of not really sure what to do with yourself. You know, this is kind of a new way of, you know, looking at things for you, and you've just never really lived a life that you haven't been overly concerned with money, so now you're just kind of not sure what's next. It's like you're stepping into the unknown. I wonder why this is happening. Like, what is this? What sparked this? And we have the Sagittarius card, also Temperance. The King of Wands represents basically you're determined for your well-being to go well. Basically, you're determined to not let this, you know, be confusing for very long. Like, you don't want to be stuck in that state for very long, so you're not going to do that. You're going to just kind of push forward and be positive and look at the bright side and kind of find things that you can find to fulfill you. So it's like, I don't know what sparked this, though. It's kind of random. Like, you have this new beginning here, and it has to do something with changing your perspective on things. And then we see that it's kind of difficult for you, you know? You don't know how to adjust, but then you're determined to kind of, like, still find the peace and happiness within your life. Like, you're not going to allow it to be something that is negative. But the thing about it is, it's like, why did it even begin? It's almost like you had no control over it. But then at the same time, you're choosing to allow it. And then we have the Ten of Pentacles. It's kind of funny. It's like the lesson here is, if you stop focusing so much on money, not that if you stop focusing on money, you're going to get more money, but just if you stop focusing on what's not very important, like money's important, but it's not the most important thing, but for some people it is, and for that King of Pentacles, it is. And so that's why you're taking a break from that lifestyle, because it's probably not fulfilling to you. And then at the end of the day, you see that you are fulfilled because you're doing things that are more important to you, you're doing things that bring more meaning to your life, and that is the ultimate security, is feeling fulfilled, right? So I mean, it's like you don't need material items and money to feel fulfilled. A lot of people think that, and that's probably what you previously thought. But at the end of the day, you see that you have the Ten of Pentacles, which is ultimate security, and you're not just focused on money anymore. So it's like it opened your mind a little bit, I feel like. It's trying to get you to lean towards that kind of a storyline for yourself. Okay, Die. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Die. Tell me what Die needs to know. Die, there is something about being straight up and honest with yourself and others. Like something needs to be said, something needs to be like said very bluntly, and you need to take action. You're going to be deciding to take action on something that maybe you've been contemplating for a long time. Like there's a big decision here, but you should feel pretty self-assured in making this decision, like pretty confident in making this decision, because you see he has the world in his hands and he also has the world around him. So he feels like he has some sense of control, I feel like, with that. So with this decision, I feel like maybe you need to get something off your chest and then make a decision. You know, the King of Swords is all about just being very, like, factual, like being very literal. Like, do not talk about how you feel as much. Like, in this situation that you're being honest, it's not important about, not that it's not important, but it's the main thing that's going to get your words, you know, to be heard and listened to is saying, you know, things that are true and factual, that are facts, you know, instead of just how you feel about it, because people need to hear the truth about it, basically. They need to hear straight up the honest truth, and then you're going to be able to, I feel like, feel free to make a decision or take an action. But the moon here is showing basically either Pisces, or basically that it kind of leaves you in this state of not making sure what's next, or being kind of confused as to what you need to do after you take this action. Why is this? It seems like you're in a good state. I mean, you're in a good position here. Being in the position of the Nine of Pentacles is all about being the masculine and the feminine side of yourself. So, you know, the masculine is the independence, self-sufficiency, you know, being able to take care of yourself with all your pentacles here. And then the feminine is nurturing the garden around you and feeding that bird there. And Ten of Pentacles. So yeah, it looks like you have a lot of security here and you can take care of yourself and things are good. It's like you just needed to get something off your chest for you to be able to pave the way onto the next phase of life where you are feeling more successful and happy and secure. But the thing is, I feel like you're alone in this. Like, even though the Ten of Pentacles shows this family here, it's kind of like, at first, it's a hard road. Like, it's not something where a lot of people are joining you. You know, maybe there's some idea that you make bank on, or there's some kind of success you see, and then you're not, like, for some reason there's this confusion. Like, maybe you feel like you're not getting the, you don't feel how you would think you would feel in this situation with all this success, because you're probably alone or lonely, and so you're like, I have all this success, but I just don't feel that great. Like, I'm confused. You know, like, is this really real, or is this not right? Am I doing something wrong? But I think this will reassure you that you're not doing anything wrong. And it's probably just hard to, maybe some people are jealous, or it's just hard to meet people that are on the same level as you. And maybe people don't really, they're intimidated or something. But the Eight of Pentacles is all about you really working hard and doing something that you really love to do. You know, that's what you do basically all the time. You're like just in on it all the time. It's like you want to do nothing else. And it could be something new. And I feel like this is something different than what brings you success here. So it's like you're looking at new hobbies now. And then you're going to take a rest and maybe find some new inspiration. That could be somebody coming in for love, but you know, in regards to what we're reading about, which is about money and your, you know, security and stuff like that, and, you know, really kind of gaining more of it, I feel like this is more talking about a new inspiring idea, and that could be maybe what it's talking about with this new hobby here. You know, there's some kind of new inspiration that comes to you, and so it seems like your ideas are taking off, or you're having success in a lot of different areas, and you're able to kind of like explore different areas after that, you know. Here it could be kind of saying like take a rest for a little bit, don't overdo it. But it seems like you have a lot of success here, and nothing's really standing in your way. The only thing is, you know, it's kind of a lonely place because maybe other people just can't relate, or they can't connect with you in certain ways. You know, the success seems like it's very pronounced, so maybe that's why people just don't know how to, either they're jealous or they don't really know how to relate with you. And it kind of feels like you should be enjoying this moment with people, but no one wants to, you know, enjoy it with you, it feels like. So you're like, did I do something wrong? You're like, am I being punished for this? Cosmo. Shoot, I'm sorry. You guys couldn't hear me. Here, I'll move the mic. Can you hear me better now? Let me know if you can hear me okay? Let me know if it's good and if it sounds okay. Like when I'm over here. Please like this video, you guys, too. If you get a chance, just go ahead and press the like button for me, please. Live Tarot. Let me know if you can hear me. I think that's why you couldn't hear me. If you want one, you can go ahead and donate. Read the description to find all of that information, and then you won't have to wait at all. And yeah. Okay, y'all, so let's do Cosmos general reading here. If you guys have a personal question, go ahead and look in the description and you can find out how to donate there. I'm taking donations for personal readings. It's for one question, it's $5.55. For two questions, it's $7.77. And for three, it's $11.11. Okay? So check that out if you're interested in getting a free, asking a personal question. That's how you go ahead and do that. For now, we're going to do, this is the third person who was here first. Okay, so Cosmo. What is going on? Oh, okay. You're feeling not so great, but you don't really want to take action yet, or maybe you're trying to take action, but I don't think that you should. You know, you feel stuck, but and your well-being and the harmony of your life is lacking. You know, you feel like you have no other choice. Your hands are tied, like you can't really do anything to get yourself out of the situation, but that's not the truth. That's just what you think matters, but it's just not the actual truth. Like, nothing's holding you here. You know, you can see that she has a blindfold on and she's tied up there, but the swords around her are just staying there. They're not going to stop her from doing anything. And if you look, you can see that her ankles are not tied up, so really she can just walk away at any time. She just doesn't think she can because the circumstances. But this is really affecting your well-being and the harmony of your life right now, your environment. Like, things are not feeling great. But I would say don't rush into making some impulsive decision. It seems like you have to gather some more information first before you really, you know, jump into doing something about this. I feel like you have to kind of be careful about how you do it. The beginning stages of a project or venture, like you're going to have an idea that's going to, you know, that you're going to want to invest in, but basically, you know, your time and energy, not actual money. I mean, it could be money, but basically to get yourself out of this situation, you have an idea here. And it could have to do something with finding somebody who's supportive towards you, or finding, you know, being supportive towards somebody else, or being nurturing, or like helping somebody out in exchange to get you out of the situation, or whatever the case is for you, to make it easier for you, or to kind of, you know, make it not as bad, or make you not feel as stuck or something, make you feel like you're not like just not able to do anything about it. Like you have to kind of think outside the box, and you might have to help somebody, or support somebody, or nurture somebody in some way, or be caring towards someone in order to kind of get that going. And along with the King of Swords, it's like, I mean, being honest is, it's going to be significant in this situation. Like, don't be shady, you know? If you're going to be this person who's providing this support to this other person, whoever this is, it could be a water sign person, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. It could be a younger earth sign person, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Or it could be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We also had Sagittarius here, right? Sagittarius, yeah. So I'm just throwing the signs out there. It doesn't have to apply, but if it does, of course, apply it. But, you know, honesty and support. Like, you're supposed to be this honest person who's telling people how it is, like, and telling people like it is. Don't be withholding, don't be holding back, don't be trying to, like, just sugarcoat things. That's not what's going to be important right now. Be honest, you know? And then we have a new beginning. That's either a pregnancy, or it's basically talking about, I feel like, you getting out of this situation where you feel stuck, because this is, you know, you're embarking on something new, a new experience or phase of life, or a new kind of environment. I mean, it could be anything new, but it's basically probably something that's getting you out of that situation. So you're probably going to have to, I don't know if it's kiss ass, or if it's just be very supportive towards somebody who needs help. I don't know if it's like you're supposed to, like, you know, like, really just, I don't know why the word's not coming to me today. I don't know if you're supposed to, like, be extra try hard, or if you're just supposed to be helpful. Okay. I think you're supposed to be helpful, because this here is talking about abandonment, or somebody being left out in the cold. There could be somebody who's sick, or maybe they're elderly, or maybe they're, you know, in need of some kind of support, and then this is something that you're providing, and they're worried that they're not going to be helped or supported, and it's like you're there to, you know, reassure that they're not alone, and they're not going to just be left in the dust, basically. That's the Five of Pentacles, abandonment. But with the Ten of Cups there, I feel like that's something that you know, you're giving them happiness, and you're taking away that fear that they have of that abandonment. So that's a good thing, and that's helping you out too. But mainly, that's the whole solution, is to help this person, or to help someone, or maybe it's a few people. King of Swords has been coming out a lot today. And King of Pentacles, wow. And Ace of Wands, okay. So there's a huge need for you guys to be, like, honest and just straightforward, just no bullshit, you know? Like, this has come out a few times for people. Like, no bullshit, honest, like, tell it how it is. And do not hold back. Like, I mean, you don't need to be rude, but it's just, like, be straightforward. Do not sugarcoat and do not talk about your feelings and how it makes you feel and how you just wish it was no. This is what it is, and that's it. King of Pentacles is about, you know, it has to do with somebody who's preoccupied or very focused on, you know, money and possessions and some kind of valuables. You know, like the King of Pentacles, he has his luxury valuables and he's happy with it. You know, that's his life. So it could have something to do with, you know, valuables or possessions, money. And Ace of Wands is talking about taking action, having the opportunity to take action. In what way are we seeing these opportunities? Seven of Wands. Possibly pushing people away that aren't really necessary to be pushing away. Six of Swords. Traveling. Moving away. Realizations. Seeing things for what they are, things coming to light, feeling very good in that energy. So you're pushing people away, a bit paranoid thinking that they're not good for you, or a bit paranoid thinking that they're going to hurt you or do something to not harm you physically, but just not be good for your energy. Like you need to get away from them is what you think, but I don't necessarily see that as something that's a big important thing. Like it seems like it's a little exaggerative. Like you're being a bit paranoid there. Is usually what the Seven of Wands means. But the Sun here, it's like you're going to have some clarity and things are going to come to light. We have the Two of Pentacles. You're weighing your options. Kind of like, you know, you have to weigh your options because one thing is almost just as important as the other thing and you can't have both. So it's like you have to kind of decide what you're going to sacrifice. Five of Swords. Two of Wands. So you're going to have to make a decision and you're going to have to, you know, you're going to be called to make a decision, obviously. You're going to be, like, left with this decision to make. You can't really just not make a decision. You have to make one. And it could be between a few things or maybe just two. But we have a lot of twos here. Well, we have two twos here. So there's, like, indecisiveness, you know, majorly. And there could be some kind of resentment or there's some kind of, you know, there's, like, a person in your energy that's kind of wants to win at all costs, does not care about fairness, does not care about if you're okay with something. I mean, they are kind of like a bully type, you know? They're kind of like vindictive is what that is. It's like they want to win, so they're not thinking about losing at all. It's like they'll do what they need to do to make sure that they win for whatever reason, that they're like that. So I'd stay away from that person or that energy or that, you know, environment, whatever the situation is, whoever that is talking about. It could be more than one person because it's three here, but it looks like there's one person who's like the culprit really, because you see how this cat right here is like in the front and these two are kind of cowering behind. So he's kind of just like picking on people. You have the Eight of Cups. Yeah, there's a lot of need for, you know, you to find that missing, like you're feeling empty, you're feeling like there's something missing in your life or inside of you, like you just feel like that emptiness and that lack emotionally. Two of Swords, you feel like you don't really have a voice, you can't really speak your mind, or you don't really have any, like leg to stand on basically, or your contribution or what you think doesn't really matter at this point, you know, is what you think. Is what it feels like to you. And then the Ten of Pentacles. Security. So it's like, even though this is a rough place right now, I feel like, first of all, what needs to happen is for you to fill that void and not try to replace it with something outside of yourself that's not really going to cure it. You know, because a lot of times that's what people do. You know, they're going to look for a person to fill it, or they're going to look for a substance, or, you know, a new, like some kind of hobby that they can just distract themselves, which in and of itself is not a bad idea, to have a hobby that you can go to and distract yourself a little bit. But, like, you know, distraction should only go so far. Like, don't avoid things, you know, don't avoid your actual, like, feelings in the situation. Don't avoid what's actually going on in you, you know, because that's just going to lead to the same emptiness. You're not going to fill it, you're just going to, you know, replace it momentarily, and it's fleeting, you know, it's a fleeting, you know, you're not really filling anything. So with the Ten of Pentacles here, I feel like this definitely needs to happen first. Like, you can't get there without, you know, going through this first and healing that. And that's going to take a long, like, it's not easy to do that, but it's possible. But you need to find something that's going to be fulfilling to you, is what I'm saying. Like, it's, you don't have to cure it overnight, but just, you know, you don't, like, try to replace it with something that's fleeting. Try to replace it with something and fill it with something that's actually going to be able to, that you can use in other situations, like, you know, a coping mechanism you can go to, you know, so that it's not just like this one-time thing that feels better now, but later on doesn't matter, it doesn't work. You know, it's got to be something that fulfills you and, you know, makes you feel better, and can be used, like, can be go back to time and time again to use as a coping mechanism, or used as a solution or resolution. And the Two of Swords, it's like you just don't feel like you have a place to say anything. And then Ten of Pentacles. So let's see. Hi, Shaylee. Okay, so let's see what the Ten of Pentacles is all about and the Two of Swords. Two of Swords, Ten of Pentacles. And we have the Seven of Swords, okay. You're trying to, so maybe it's not that you feel like you don't have a voice, but you feel like you shouldn't. You're trying to avoid speaking. You're trying to, like, not be confronted about something. And so you're trying to just focus on the Ten of Pentacles, which is basically finding that security and stability. And you're trying to, along the way, just not have to really talk about it or say anything. Just kind of, like, walk around it, and that could cause some problems, you know, especially with that bully person. They're going to want to pick at that. So I feel like that's a weakness that you're presenting, instead of, you're hiding instead of showing yourself and being, like, if you hide, then that bully person is more likely to try and pick at that. Or you won't be able to defend yourself, you know, when you're not around because you're hiding. So if you can just get out of that toxic situation, then that's probably the best solution. But if you can't right now, then obviously I think you should stop hiding and start showing yourself more, and start being, you know, if something needs to be said, then it will be said because you're right there, you know, and you won't have to, like, not experience that. And then we have the Tower. So there's obviously a lot of changes going down, and they're going to continue to go down until, you know, you're on the right path again. Because right now, it's like you're not on the right path. You're kind of veering off from the path that you're supposed to be on, whatever that is. Or the just certain steps along the way. Like, you know, everything happens for a reason, but it's like there's these certain lessons you're supposed to learn, right? And so that's just what this is. That's just all part of it, you know? Nothing to be afraid of. It's just life. Life lessons and things you'll be grateful that you knew after the fact, and that you'll be happy to know as you go on into the future. So it's, you know, it's a difficult time because there's so much change, and that's uncomfortable for some people. You know, it depends on what your relationship is to change, really. Like, if you're comfortable with change, good. If you're not, it's gonna be a little harder. It's gonna be tough, but it's not the end of the world. It's just a phase of life that you are moving through. So go through it, you know, don't go around it, don't go over it, don't go like past it, you know, don't try to like take the easy way out, you know. You got to just face it for what it is. Knight of Wands, not very committed to a certain idea. And you could be very passionate about something at first, and then you kind of get over it very easily. Like you get bored easily, or you kind of lose interest. You kind of, so maybe that's something that will change with the Tower here. Or it seems like there's certain ways that you're going to change, and then you're going to like not want to be committed to those changes, or you kind of are half-assing it, or you don't want to go in all the way for something. You know, there's like you get over it really quick. Get over the idea that you have really quick. It's like you have this new idea, and then you're like, yes, I'm so about this, like I'm about this, this is my idea, I want to do this. And then you're kind of like, you get tired of it and you want to do some new idea. So I think the goal here though is that if you do move on from one idea, it's because you have a different idea right behind it, not just like no idea, you know? Like you don't just like move on and then have nothing to do. You move on and you have some other thing that you're already working on, right? But it could be hard for you to stick to one thing. And then we have the Eight of Wands, which is talking about that direction that it's headed toward if you know, remain in that kind of an energy. Six of Wands. Well, it looks like you have support and people that are cheering you on and wanting to see you do well and pumping you up, wanting to see you do well, believing in you. The Hierophant is Taurus. It also represents commitment. The Judgment card is saying, you know, be careful about what you're committing to or what you are looking up to, you know, with those, sometimes they're looking up to those two pastors there. Oh. Sam Rod and Miss Oblivion. Okay, cool. Alright, so let me check that really quick. And then have your questions ready, you guys. Well, a general for one of you, but then there's those 3 questions. Alright. Okay. Okay, Sam. Okay, Sam. And then we'll do Miss Oblivion after that. Thank you, you guys. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to start with some energies around you, Sam. See what energies are around you right now. What's in your environment and what do you need to know? You have House 12. Spirituality, transcendence, karma, sacrificial service, and healing. House 12, okay? Spirituality, transcendence, karma, sacrificial service, and healing. Okay, is the energy of the 12th house? That's the Pisces house too, if that means anything. Oh. Aquarius, originality, philanthropy, and progressive imaginings. That's Aquarius, the Aquarius card. Cool. So you're kind of doing this in a different way, in a way that's not really conventional. You know, the way that you're receiving your karma or playing it out, it could be different than what, you know, most people would have experienced or are used to. Like, it's not like this thing you can just go to a group therapy session and talk about it because everyone's been through it. It's kind of unique, you know? Like, whatever you're doing now, you're trying to do it in a different way or in a way of, you know, way of your own. So, sacrificial service and healing. Maybe you're volunteering or you have some idea about how to make the world better. That's like Aquarius energy, progressive imaginings, you know? Then we have conjunction, a union, merging and coming together. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense for these two cards, like I was just saying. You know, the karma aspect of it, but also the healing and sacrificial service, along with the philanthropy and progressive imaginings of Aquarius. Those two things do come together and merge, you know? Those two things can be used together in a way that they wouldn't clash, you know? And it might have something to do with your karma. You know, maybe this is your karma. Maybe you have to play this out, help other people in a new way, or find new ideas of how to help the world, or, you know, how to transcend from what's, you know, already believed in the world. You have to kind of create this new idea for people to, you know, because now, like, you know, we're needing different ideas, we're needing different kinds of things to make change and to make progress in the world. It's like we can't just do the same things we've always done, because that's why we're in the spot we're in, right? So it's probably part of your karma, your job to find what those things are. And along with that, we have the Three of Swords. So it's heartbreaking, you know? It's not something that's easy. It brings a lot of pain. It brings a lot of loss. Maybe you have to be told no a lot, or you have to be told that you can't do it. You can't, you wouldn't make it, or you're not good enough, or this idea sucks, or whatever it is, you know, you just aren't. You're meeting obstacle after obstacle. It's heartbreaking. It's disappointing. But, you know, and it's discouraging. And you feel like maybe you won't be able to fulfill this karma. Yeah, you're afraid something bad is going to happen, or... You know, this person in this card here, they've been hurt in the past. You know, you can see the bandage on their head there. So it's not like paranoia. I mean, they're hypervigilant like that, on high alert like that, because they've been hurt in the past. They know it's possible that they can get hurt again, and they just have to be prepared for it. So it's very exhausting to be up in that energy all the time. But they just know something bad is going to happen. I'm not saying it will, it's just the energy of how that person feels. Is that something bad will happen. Always constantly on high alert, just waiting for the next threat so that they have to, you know, that they'll have to protect themselves from. And this is a disappointing, so this is the bad side of it. And I feel like what's going to happen is, this is the beginning. This is just the beginning. You know, this is the start of this kind of a journey for you, to where it's very disappointing. It's a letdown constantly. You feel like, what did I do wrong? You know, this person... in the present moment, they are crying over spilt milk. Like, they're thinking about the past and how that's been so disappointing. And now it's, you know, into the future, that's the past. You know, the cups are knocked over. There's nothing you can do to change that. And this person's just still focused on that, dwelling. So I feel like you're very disappointed in yourself, and you don't even see that there are two cups standing behind you. just ready to be taken, you know, on a journey. Like you can have 2 new opportunities here to create some other kind of way of going about this. And you can take these 2 cups here, you know, and you can do the same thing. And you can get the same result, and you can do the same thing and just be disappointed and just have the same outcome every time. Or you can take them and you can go across this bridge back here, and then you can meet this castle where you've never been. It's uncharted territory for you, or for this person here. And what that means is like there's a new way, and that goes along with what we're saying. Like there's a whole new way that you're supposed to discover here. Whole new original unique way of helping people or creating a better world, or there's some kind of idea here that you're gonna contribute to. It might not be world famous, but I mean it could be, but it's going to be a new way of doing something and a new way of helping people, or you know, showing, like, you know, giving back basically. So it's your job to kind of find out what that is and how to apply it to work in the world or for whatever situation you're dealing with. So there is a tendency to, like, indecisiveness, you know, like you're not really sure which way to go or which thing is more important or what to focus on, like what to put your all into. You know, you have a few things you're juggling here, and it's important to choose the right one, right? Because we have a lot riding on this, or this is how it feels to you. It's just a tricky decision. Like you're gonna have to sacrifice one for the other, right? So it's like, which one's more important? They both seem very important. And somebody could try to steal, or maybe you're trying to take the easy way out, or you're trying to kind of not get caught, or there's some kind of sneakiness going on. Maybe you're trying to avoid having to make this decision. So I think because of that, it kind of takes longer for this to, you know, spark and become something that is successful, or that you're seeing results in. You know, this is talking about that the new idea you have, and you're going towards this pentacle. You're trying to, you know, find that thing that's going to reach success or be a secure thing that you can, like, call your own, or you want to see it manifest into something real. And this is the beginning stages of that. And so because you're trying to kind of take the easy way out, or not really pick one or the other of these 2 choices, you know, it's a difficult decision. You know, you really have to make you have to choose one, and you can't have the other. You know, it's hard to do that because they're both very important issues. So you may kind of try to, you know, walk around this for a while, and that's going to delay this, you know, significantly. They have to wait for this garden to blossom and grow all the way. They're just waiting patiently because you didn't want to make this decision. You didn't want to take action and just risk it, you know, which is understandable. But I'm just saying that seems like that's going to delay some things. And then the Ace of Cups here is talking about, you know, this overflowing cup of water here represents inspiration, you know, and an overwhelming amount of emotion. So basically, I would say your cup is overflowing, like you have a lot of inspiration and motivation and aspiration, like you just really see, like, your ideas blossoming and taking off here. So I feel like you're going to have a lot of, like, you're going to be basically injected with all of this inspiration here and want to go towards all these different ideas. So maybe you just needed, you know, a little kick in the ass, because you not being able to make a decision and having it be delayed, you know, the beginning stages of the project from taking off, or from you seeing any results that are tangible, you know, and that you can, like, show and that you can feel good about. That needed to happen so that you can, you know, all of a sudden know that, okay, I need to make a decision, and I took way too long doing this, and now there's all these things I want to do and all these things I want to try. Like, when the pressure was on, it was just too much, and you just didn't want to even make that decision. But then you see how that really kind of delayed everything in a way that you weren't really wanting. And that kind of made things a little bit more stressful, but then you kind of take off with all these ideas. And it seems like you have a lot of hope now, and a lot of, like, good feelings about what could happen next and what it's going to be, what it's going to manifest into. Like, you're just hoping to see everything become, you know, reach its fullest potential, and you see a lot of potential there. So you're kind of getting excited about it again, you know? All that waiting and all that nothing going on was like, okay, fuck this. I'm going to, like, start just trying things and seeing what works and what doesn't, because I can't just sit here and not try something and just let this continue this way, you know? I need to do something. Okay, Miss Oblivion. Yeah, go ahead and post your questions and I will. Okay. What's the true current situation between my ex, Pisces, and his karmic Kelly, Pisces? What is the true current situation? Like, you want to know if they're really happy together, if they're using each other, if they're cheating on each other, if they're really karmic relationships, or like what do you mean the true current situation, like regarding what like what exactly do you mean? What do you exactly want to look into for them? Like the true situation, meaning do they really like each other? Or Max and I were together for almost 2.5 years. What I believe to be immensely happy together, but at the beginning of 2021 he abruptly abandoned our relationship for a woman he hadn't seen in over 12 years. Wow, that's fucked up. So you're wanting to know if that's true or not, or if he really kind of had seen her before? Had he seen her really? Had he not seen her really in 12 years? Or was that just bullshit? Or you want to know, like, what happened? She made it be known I needed to disappear. Ew. What a weird bitch. Who just says that? She made it be known that I needed to disappear. That's creepy. Are they happy? What's their purpose together? Are they happy? There's a lot of disappointment. There's a lot of, I feel like, either they're upset with how it turned out or how it's turning out, or they're upset with, like, things from the past. I feel like there's things, crying over spilt milk, the 3 cups that are knocked down there, they're just kind of, like, dwelling on them. They're focused on them. In the present moment, this person's present moment, they are focused on something that happened in the past that was disappointing. So that's still disappointing, obviously, and these 2 cups here are 2 new opportunities for them to, like, do something different, see this uncharted territory, this castle here, go over this bridge, find this castle they've never been to, and, try something new. But instead, they could also do the same thing they've been doing and get the same result and just continue to, this cycle of disappointment and not being good enough. So I feel like there's a lot of pressure definitely on, like, them, like, being good enough for each other. Like, are we making each other happy? Like, there's just all this, like, negative energy there. There's just disappointment. It's a letdown. Things aren't going the way they hoped or planned. And it could have to do with, like, lack of communication or lack of collaboration. They're disappointed with how they're not, getting along very well, or they're not able to integrate their 2 energies together and make it work in a way that they had expected to be able to. And someone needs to take responsibility for that. Like, it's her or him, I'm not sure. It could be both. But somebody wants someone else to take responsibility for it. And that could be the issue, too, is that one person wants the other to take full responsibility when it's really both of them who need to take responsibility for that situation, for the lack of, harmony, for the lack of, like, working together in collaboration. Like, that's on both their parts, Unless it really is just one of them. But, I mean, usually it's both because it's a relationship. I do see a lot of things about, their give and take here, and then one person making decisions, and then there's, like, a fear of abandonment, and somebody's like not very committed to the situation, pushing people away. It's kind of like I feel like there's constant triggers there in that connection. Like there's constant triggers that they're unaware of, or there's constant things that are making them upset and they're blaming each other for it, and it has nothing to do with the other person, or it's just like this constant trigger happy, threatening connection, you know? It's like they're not even sure why, really. I mean, it seems like it's just like there's no real, like I feel like the reasons aren't because of each other, but that's what it seems, because I mean, what else would it be, they think? And we do see here somebody's weighing their options about leaving or traveling, making distance, getting away from the situation. Somebody is considering doing that. Somebody's considering like what would be better for them, and it's a hard decision to make. You know, I don't think that they're really sure what they're gonna do, but they know that it's a difficult decision. You know, they have to choose one over the other and sacrifice some things in order to get that thing, and it's just, you know, they have to pick one and ditch the other, and it's a difficult thing because you want to have a little of both, or those two things are very important, you know, in the same way, and so it's hard to just choose one. It could be between two people, because if we're talking about that, then we're talking about them, you know, maybe coming back to you possibly. You know, don't put all your hopes in that. I'm just saying reunion, you know, it could be you, right? So, and it could be them too. It could be the girl we're talking about here too. It doesn't have to necessarily be your ex. I mean, it could be the person he's with that's weighing their options and then going to reunite with somebody. And it could even be that they kind of take a temporary break, right? Because we're talking about Four of Swords. Four of Swords is a temporary break, but the reunion came first. So it's interesting. It could either be saying that they're weighing their options about a reunion with somebody that they took a break from, or they're weighing their options about, you know, having a reunion after taking a break. But I would feel like the reunion comes first. So that would have to be with somebody they've already been separated from, right? And then we have the Empress, which represents a new beginning, the birth of something. You know, something new and something with a lot of potential, and it could represent a pregnancy as well, so be careful with that, or congratulations, which however you look at that, whoever that's about. Let's see so somebody is considering leaving the situation. Okay. Page of Cups, offering their cup of love, offering a connection to someone new, or the early stages of offering it to somebody, right? It's kind of like the beginning stages of a relationship. You know, the early stages is the page, you know, it's a kid. A page is like a kid, it's a young energy. So it's like the early stages of a relationship, right? It hasn't really it hasn't gone its full potential yet. It hasn't matured yet. It's just the beginning. And this could be a water sign person, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And then a nurturing energy there. So there is some kind of offer of love or connection to somebody. It could be the person that's pregnant, or it could be somebody completely new. To me, it seems like it would be an offer. Is this somebody new? Or is this somebody that they know? Is this somebody that they're reuniting with? Knight of Cups. The Hanged Man. So, shit. Is this somebody new? Judgment. So, that's kind of the same thing as a Hanged Man, though, in this sense. So basically we're seeing this new thing being offered, and I'm not sure if it's a new person or if it's you know, a person you're reuniting with, but basically, or they're reuniting with, but basically, you know, we have a lot of cups here. I wouldn't doubt if it's a water sign person, because, so it could be, you know, them reuniting with each other, but I feel like either way, this shouldn't just be acted upon. Like, there's a lot of signs here that say, hang on, hold up, think about this, take a step back, really think about what you're doing, you know, judgment right after the Hanged Man. You're trying to really, like, observe the situation before taking action. Like, not just taking action and thinking you know, but really kind of just seeing what's going on there first, you know, really not taking action. Hanging there and waiting for all the information you need to feel confident to move forward and take that action and make that decision. And after that, judgment comes out. So it's like, make sure you're using your better judgment. Like, you know, remember what you know about this situation. Remember what you've experienced in the past. It's not likely to be any different. So you really need to think about what you're doing and if you really want to be doing it, you know? So it's like kind of trying to point you in the direction of saying maybe consider not doing it. Yeah, see? Page of Wands, that's impulsive. Not thinking. You know, it's a young energy, and it's fire. It's young energy in wands. Wands are action. You know, you take action, you do something, you go for it. And the wand, or the page, is, you know, without thinking. Very young, very immature, without much forethought, you know, just going for it. And I think, you know, somebody's trying to create a foundation or kind of bring back together a foundation where they feel secure. And so they're just quick to kind of like try and make this happen, but you know, whatever you're feeling intuitively at that time is probably spot on, and you should listen to it because, you know, whatever that is, you would know better than I do what that is that you're thinking and feeling, but whatever it is, it's, you know, it's a big risk you're taking, I feel like here. I think you already know that, you know. The opportunity for security, I feel like, is there, but I don't think it's with this situation. Like, it seems like it's there, but if you, like, you can have this stability, but I don't think it's going to be with, you know, in the way that you're kind of hoping it would be, because the High Priestess is there and should be telling you that this is not a good decision. Yeah, I feel like the page, or I mean the Ten of Pentacles, that's even, so it's saying opportunity for security and success, and then boom, you're getting it because the Ten of Pentacles. It's like you have the opportunity and you're taking it. Whatever your intuition is telling you about that, that's what you need to listen to. That's probably what is correct. Unless you're jaded as fuck and your intuition's off, but you know, I would say that the High Priestess says, like, do what you know or what you feel is gonna work out in that situation, like, and use your better judgment, remember? So it's kind of like, really think about this, and you're cautioning yourself constantly. It seems like you do end up taking an impulsive decision, though, and that's what, you know, that's kind of what it's not wanting you to do. But maybe it's saying, too, like, don't wait too long. You know, like, take a decision, or take an action, but don't, like, you know, weigh your options and use your better judgment, but don't, like, take forever to do that, you know, because that opportunity will pass. And then you're going to be, like, not able to make that happen, like you see here. But, you know, you do see it here, so you know it's an opportunity. And it's not only an opportunity, but then it's the Ten of Pentacles. So I feel like you do take that opportunity. And it could have something to do with family. It could have something to do with, you know, if the pregnancy is yours, and that would be, you know, maybe it's security within that whole, you know, maybe you guys find security because of that, or you can come together because of that. Somebody is quick to try to get, you know, merge together in order to build, you know, some kind of security. So just be careful with that. That's, you know, I feel like you can have security without making mistakes that you've already made, you know? Like, you don't need to do things you know are bad. Like, you know how that's going to go, and you know how it went before, so why would it be any different this time? Unless you really have proof that, like, it would be. There's really no reason to risk that again, you know? Just because you want to, or you feel like that's, you miss that person, it's kind of, like, not very wise to do that. She has money and wins him over with expensive gifts, dinner trips, and cruises, things I couldn't compete with. He literally changed overnight. She posts on social media that they're immensely happy and love. He doesn't acknowledge her and the relationship on social media. He left her relationship without any explanation. Wow. So I wonder if that kind of represents what happened with them instead of what's going to happen, you know, because it was talking about that reunion. Is there a possibility of them being pregnant, or them, or him getting somebody pregnant, or are you guys, like, not able to do that, or is that, like, something that's out of the question? Because if it is in the question, then that could be what that Empress was there for. I feel like what I just explained right there was what was that situation from the past. Like, not, that sounds like that's what that was instead of something that's going to happen. You know, that sounded like the reunion, along to use your better judgment on this. Like, he should have probably thought that through a little bit more, you know? Like, he's disappointed about certain things, how they went, and she's disappointed. Like, I feel like they both expected a lot from that, from the connection, and it's just not exactly what they wanted it to be. Like, and he's probably, like, kind of regretting that now, you know? Like, why did I do that? But, you know, the gifts and all of that and the money, it's like, it's Ten of Pentacles. I mean, we don't see happiness necessarily there just because we see success. Okay, that's what I was asking. Okay, so then it's a new beginning. It's the birth of something, is what the Empress would represent then. Okay, we see a few things here. I see the Ten of Pentacles again. Usually the Ten of Pentacles to me represents security, but if you're talking about like a lot of money that they have, I mean, it can just be an over, like it could be like too much money or something, you know? Not too much, but just like a large amount, you know? And that doesn't necessarily point to happiness for people. Even though that card in and of itself, you would think it's basically talking about somebody having security, so that's something that makes a lot of people happy to have. Like, to be okay and to not have to worry about, you know, taking care of yourself. That feels good. You said, what are his feelings towards me? Oh, nice. Look at that. I feel like there will be a reconciliation. Like, I shouldn't say that like that, but I mean, with this, it's showing the Tower, and it's also showing the Four of Wands. And then it showed, you know, the Devil came out here, and I know that does mean Capricorn. And at first I didn't think it really had anything to do with the reading necessarily. It was like, maybe that just came out, but when you said you're a Capricorn, I'm kind of like, okay, well, what else is out here? And there's a lot of tension, I feel like, between you guys right now. Like, I don't think that it's really a good situation currently. It doesn't seem like you guys are doing too well. Like, there's a lot of arguments, and there's a lot of things that need to be said, and there's a lot of, like, things that weren't said, you know, basically just things that, you know, are causing a lot of tension. Like, basically, there's arguments because you guys didn't resolve the things that happened, you know, when he left. So that makes sense, and there's a lot of hurt feelings and things like that, you know, just bickering. Like, if you guys were to talk, it would probably not be a good conversation. It would be an argument. And then we can see very quickly here, like, coming in kind of without any warning. See, I don't trust that person, though, because it seems like they're not committed to, like, they get excited about things or they want to be there and all in, but then it's like they aren't showing their commitment. They're showing that they aren't going to take it. Like, they want to be, like, it's like they're excited, but then it's like they're gone and they're not committed anymore, and that's just kind of like not something to rely on, which is what's kind of scary about that. Like, they could be so into it and then they can just leave it all behind. So that's what I'm worried about happening again, because here we can see very quickly something coming in without warning, you know, without any kind of like way to prevent it or even see it coming. And it could be talking about you, or it's talking about something unhealthy, something toxic, something that's not good for you. You know, they're chained to the Devil in this card. They're chained to him. So it's like it's something they can't really control, or it's like an urge that they can't really fight. It's like a temptation, you know? And this brings on a Tower moment. So it's basically, a Tower moment is all about like a lot of change happening at once. You know, things feel like they're falling apart, even though it's really actually a good thing. But in the midst of it, it feels very difficult to cope with. You know, it's just not something that's comfortable to change everything at once. It feels like you don't know when it's going to end, you know, and you don't know when you're going to find that stability again. It just feels confusing and frightening, I'm sure, for some people. just the unknown, and things are falling apart everywhere you look. You know, it just feels like scary and crazy, like a bad situation, like a nightmare you just want to wake up from, you know? You never want to go back to sleep. But it's really not a bad thing. It just feels like that at the time. I mean, it depends on what your relationship is to change. Like, if you're okay with change, then you should be fine. But if you're not, which most people kind of have some difficulty with it, you know, then, like, all change at once, like a few aspects of your life changing at once, like, in a major way, that's a big shift. And if you can't adjust to it very well, or you want to hang on to the past, it's going to be even harder. So it just depends on what it is for you. I feel like it might be a bit difficult for you, but just remember you have to go through it. You can't go around it. You can't go over it. You have to go right through it and face it head on, and it'll be a lot easier to just accept it, and let it pass, you know, and just kind of roll with it. And then we have the Five of Wands. I just think that, you know, there's still that tension there in the Chariot. It's like moving forward, there's hesitation, or there's blockages, or somebody doesn't, like, there's people who stand in your way, or there's, you know, things that stand in your way, or it feels that way. It feels like things are standing in your way, like there's just not an easy route to, you know, there's not an easy route forward. There's just no clear path. And then we see somebody coming, you know, choosing to come towards you. Like, there's two different paths they could take, the two sphinxes. This is the tarot of the new vision, so it's kind of like a different perspective. We can see the back side of them rather than the front side. So when you see the front side, you can see the two sphinxes, but now in the back, you can just see the two people behind. You know, this is the back side. So, you know, we can see them going in a direction forward. So it's almost like they've chosen the direction, right? That's not the part that we're talking about. We're not talking about like them choosing. We're talking about they've chosen it and they're going and walking towards that way. So it seems like they're all in, but then we see, you know, they're gone just as quick. So it's like, you know, it's like the Knight of Swords. It's coming in quick and leaving just as quick, you know? This one is with a little more force, and this one was just kind of like with passion, but passionately moving on to the next exciting thing, you know? So I wouldn't rely on it. It's just something that it will change a lot. It's something that seems to change up and not be a steady thing that you can really rely on or believe in. Like, it's not something that is there for, you know, for a long time. It just seems like it's fleeting. It feels good now, but it's like, that's all, you know, because we have the reunion. So I just feel like that's something that's definitely a possibility, but it's just not something that's reliable, you know? Like, I don't see anything about commitment. I don't see anything about, like, somebody taking it seriously. It's like, it keeps talking about, like, things coming to light and things being, like, fleeting, and somebody getting over it and going on to the next thing, and just kind of, like, jumping around and not really staying in one place, you know? And that's something you need to, like, talk to yourself about and decide, like, is that something you want to even invest in anymore? Is that something you want to keep going back and forth with? Because it's going to hurt more each time, you know? So I feel like this reunion possibility comes around, but you're seeing things in a different perspective, and you kind of see things for what they are. You'll have realizations about this situation and whether or not you want to go forward in that. And Ten of Swords, yeah. So the sun can also represent, like, it feeling very good, like, in that energy that you're in. So it feels like the sun's shining on you and you feel at your best. But then the Ten of Swords after that kind of tells me that you may actually try to go and take this opportunity to, you know, get back and have that reunion. But you soon see that, you know, why that, what I'm talking about is, you know, it's not really something you can rely on, and it's even something that you might regret because of getting, you know, betrayed, and it would be of somebody you trusted. So it's not really something that you saw coming at all, you know? You have a lot of different ways you can go about it. You have different options too. I feel like there's more than one person who's interested in you. I don't think you have to really worry about that too much, but you're just interested in this one person. But it's just not a reliable thing that I would want to see you be involved in again. But you can go about this in a lot of different ways. Like, in a lot of the ways you want to go about it are very unrealistic, you know? you see all of these little things in these cups here, and it's like there's good things and there's bad things, and it's just like either way it's unrealistic. You know, like nothing is going to be that bad and nothing's going to be that great. It's like you know what you know about the situation. I just think you need to like see it for what it is, you know? You said he doesn't make very much money. He's pretty humble. We didn't have much together, but I thought we were pretty happy. We aren't speaking. I cut him out of my life in July 2021. Told him I was not anyone's option. Yes, very spot on about him. I've been working on healing my heart and doing shadow work. Absolutely. Practicing discernment has been a huge lesson. Okay. So let's see what he feels about you. I kind of answered the third question first. But I'm going to go to the second question now about how does he currently feel about you. Thought a card flipped over. I guess it didn't. So, or is this about him? You know, like, is this about, is he thinking about her, or is he thinking she's giving it thought? Okay. He's thinking about the past a lot, I think. We can see here with the Three of Wands, he's thinking a lot about how things have led up to this moment right here. Like, he's on this mountain, and he's like, I'm so proud of everything that's, you know, like, or maybe not even proud, it's just kind of realizing all the events that have happened, and just seeing everything and how it's changed, and kind of just thinking about how that, like, what exactly took place. Like, you know, memories, like, thinking of, reminiscing, basically. And we can see here, I think that they are thinking about it a lot, and but they are thinking very deeply and trying to self-reflect and decide, like, did they do things wrong, or did they, like, was there a different way it could have ended up? You know, was there something else that would have been better, you know, than this now? Like, they're kind of really considering, like, what their life is, or what they're trying to, you know, make it next, and what they're trying to go towards next, and how they can do that. I think they're considering something here, because using the Judgment card is here, and then it's also the Two of Wands. So it's like, basically here we're talking about, you know, somebody who's going to be making a deliberate decision and feels confident about that. But that's after a long period of time, or, you know, a good period of time where they're really considering and contemplating what to do. You know, they're not just taking action, they've thought about it for a while. So that's that deep thought here. And then we see them taking an action, and, you know, it has something to do with the past. It could be something where, you know, it's a cycle that doesn't change, like, that needs to be broken. So it could be something where they want to bring back the past. They want to create that again, and it's like the world, they want to, you know, bring it back, and so that it can come full circle and be, you know, what it used to be. But then that's not really something that's good, you know. It's like, it shouldn't be what it used to be, and because it's the way it is now because of how it used to be, you know. I don't know if that's wishful thinking or what, but I mean, that's not really a realistic, like, that's kind of, why would you want it? Well, at least it's good that they're kind of self-reflecting, right? Because maybe if they do want it to be the way it was, you said you guys were happy, so if they want that to be happy again, and they're considering what they did and how they can, if what they did was the reason that they're not happy now, then we can just hope that that will be enough to make somebody get their head out of their ass. But I just don't usually rely on things like that. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just, that's not what my first thought would be, and that's not what I would rely on. But I mean, it looks like they're considering it a lot, and wanting it to be something that it used to be. Ten of Pentacles, and yeah, see here though? See, the Ten of Pentacles, I don't like how it's coming out in these readings, because then we see the Four of Cups, and it makes me feel like this money situation comes in again or is offered to them, and then they're closed off, and they are not responding. So let's see if that means they're not responding to the person with, you know, providing the security, or if they're not responding to you again. Who are they Four of Cupsing? Well, it actually could mean that, you know, they're not giving or taking any offers, right? So whenever this offer comes in, they're not giving or they're not taking it, is what that could mean. They're afraid something bad would happen, so it's kind of a risk. I feel like this person that they're with is kind of scary. Like, why are they... They're worried about retaliation or something? Or something bad going on? And then they know that that person will have support. I feel like they want to come towards you, but it's not that simple. Like, it's not just something that they can do because of the circumstances. And now I feel like even deeper it could be like because this person's kind of vindictive. That's weird. Like the person they're with is kind of vindictive, or would make their life hell, or would make their life very hard if they left them or something like that. That's what it seems like. But with, you know, in regards to your question, how do they feel about you? I feel like they're thinking about the situation a lot, and they would like to make changes, or it seems like they want things to be how they used to be, but it's not going to be that simple to make that happen. Like, they're going to make a deliberate decision, and they might try to cut that person off, but they might not be able to, you know? They might not be able to just so easily. Like, they want the world, they want it to come back to what it was. I don't think that's a good idea, though. I mean, unless we're just talking about, because it can't just be back what it was after everything. You know what I mean? Like, that's just an unrealistic way of looking at it to me. Like, to me, I just feel like that's, they want that, but that's not gonna, you know, that's not, you can want that all you want, but, I mean, how are you gonna do that? Like, you know, I just feel like they're not really considering everything it's gonna take, or they're just not really thinking realistically about it, so it's kind of hard to, like, believe it's gonna work out, you know what I mean? Like, it just seems like something that's almost childish to believe. Like, yeah, you can want that, but, like, it takes more than just wanting that to happen and be how it used to be. Like, you kind of fucked it up, so it's not gonna be how it used to be, right? Oh, I just saw that, Sam. Thank you. And yes, of course, you're welcome. Thank you. I don't know if I ever said that to you. Thank you. I appreciate your guys' time and your support. Couldn't do this shit without you guys, you know that. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys, your participation, you know, and your questions. Josephina? Let's do one for Josephina, okay? Josephina. 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 We want a general for Josephina. Josephina, general for Josephina, please. Six of Wands, so there's something about attention or getting support here. Knight of Wands, okay. King of Cups. All right, so it seems like there is some kind of support coming into your life or is in your life, and it's like, it feels, you know, you have a lot of attention on you. You have a lot of good support in your life, like people are really cheering you on, you know, and then it's, but it's like, it's not commitment, or it's not a thing that lasts very long, you know, it's something that's like, great at first, and then it's like short-lived, you know, but it seems like you still have like a good amount of support at a distance. Like there is this distant King of Cups here. It's a very distant support. It's like somebody who cares, but they're not all up in your face, lovey-dovey, touchy-feely all the time, you know, but you know that you have that person there. It's just that, what's this Knight of Wands about? Why is that there? That's a strange combination. Tell me what this Knight of Wands is here for. Is there something to be worried about with this King of Cups? Okay. Well, it looks like you are hesitating to take action on something. Like you're trying to gather more information first. And I think when you do that, you kind of, well, we don't see an opportunity missed. We just see, you know, some big changes that happen while you aren't taking action. It's like, I don't know if you could have prevented this from happening by taking action. I don't think that you could have, because it's the Tower. So it seems more like something just, you were anticipating something to happen, and then plans changed, you know, like everything was kind of flipped over on its head. Like you didn't expect that at all, because you were planning on something else, right? But then something kind of just changed it all. So it's like, maybe you need that support or something. Like, why is the Knight of Wands talking about, well, maybe that's the thing that we're talking about here, is that change, you know, the Knight of Wands. So I kept feeling like when I saw the Knight of Wands, it seems like, should you trust that King of Cups? Because yeah, they're there, but they're at a distance now, whereas before they were all up in your, like, they were right there in your clique, in your circle, in your group, but you know, they were one of your people that were there by your side cheering you on, and now they left suddenly, and now they're still there, but they're at a distance. It's like they're not really there, right? They're kind of like, why did they leave? Why did they ditch out? Like, what did they have to, you know, go away for so abruptly? And it seems self-serving because it's the Knight of Wands. It's about desire. It's about, you know, moving on to the next more exciting thing. So it just seems like something that maybe you know, they're there when they want to be there. It's not really about when you need them, right? And then we have you kind of like being hesitant to take action in some way, or accept something, or, you know, you just want to gather all the information you can. You're hanging there. You're not making a conclusion on it yet. You're not making a decision. And when you're doing that, it's like, maybe you were iffy about this person at first or something, because this is clarifying the Knight of Wands. I think a lot changed when that person ended up doing that. And it's like something that you didn't expect to happen, and it's a long time that you're waiting to really build back this tower of, and the trust, you know, the security and the foundation again. And you're taking a break from that person, or you're taking a rest from that connection. Even though they're trying to be like they're really not, and so it's taking you longer to really trust. Why do you still have them in your life though? Like, why do you feel like that's important to? Fear of abandonment. Fear of abandonment here. Because they already kind of did abandon you. So you're kind of like, yeah, that could happen again, you know? Then we have you, see, this is the deck I was talking about that has the ghosts in the background kind of pointing at her when she's in bed and stressing. Like, so she's not just stressing, but she's feeling bad about herself. She's negative self-talk, you know, they're pointing at her, telling her she's not worth a shit, or, you know, whatever they're saying. And so so what that means is she's taking it out on herself. She's stressing and feels like she's not good enough or something. But there's hope within this. The Lovers. Gemini, Aquarius energies here. There's like a good omen to the situation. It's like, even though you're feeling bad about yourself, it seems like someone comes along to change that, which I hate that storyline, because that's an unhealthy thing. No one should be coming along to change that and bring you happiness if you don't already have it. That's a problem. But you know, maybe this is a temporary thing. It's just kind of something that adds brightness to your life. It's the Lovers. I can't really see it any other way. It seems like something, like, you know, the star could be like miracles too. So it kind of, but that's what I'm saying. It kind of seems too good to be true, you know? But nevertheless, it brings you and lifts you out of that situation. I saw the Seven of Swords twice now. Oh, God. Did I call it or did I call it? Seven of Swords, the Moon. There's a lack of clarity, somebody hiding something, sneaking something, not trying to be confronted on a situation, trying to tiptoe around it, maybe even stealing, so hide your valuables or make sure everything's locked up or put away. And it says, you know, like intuitively what's going on. So in that situation, and when you feel like something isn't right, that's something that you should listen to. That's something that you probably already know without being told. You know, you just feel like that's the case. And so don't disregard that. If that's something that's strong that you're feeling like that's the case, then I wouldn't disregard it. If it's an intuitive feeling. Like, not like an actual, like, you're jaded and you just think everyone's cheating on you, but like, you know, if you think something's not right, you're probably right. Unless you just never think anything's right, then that's kind of different. But the Moon talks about, you know, lack of clarity. There's like a lot of on and off and a lot of hot and cold, mixed messages. You're not really sure why or where you stand with someone. And it's like, you're not really seeing like how you could be happier with somebody else, because you don't see the Two Cups here. You just see the ones knocked down, a missed opportunity or something that is disappointing or a letdown. This is you though. I feel like you do have these, like, you're able to take care of yourself, and you're also able to provide and nurture others, which is like the all-around person there. It's like you're nurturing and you're self-sufficient. That's something that you should be thinking about rather than this. That's something that you need to remember instead of this. You know, this doesn't mean just because somebody abandons you or doesn't want to be with you does not mean you're not worthy. That just means that you're not for them, you know? And then we see reunion, which is something I'm hesitant to even talk about because it seems like not a good situation. But maybe they start to see this in you, and when you start to see it, and then they're like, oh, I need to get back with that person. But hopefully by that time you're able to recognize that, you know, you don't have to put up with that shit, or there's just no, you don't have any reason for them in your life. Like, they kind of made the decision they made the choice they made, and it's like, bye, you know, like, I don't, I realize now that I'm kind of like better than that, than to have to put up with this. Or, you know, I see more worth in myself than you made me feel like I had within myself. Like, you leaving me made me feel like I was worth nothing. But once I see that I'm worth something, you start to see it too and recognize it too, and you want to come back. It's like, why would I let you back in to suck me dry again? Or to make me drain me again and make me feel like I'm not worth shit? You know, like... Whew, that got a little crazy, didn't it? Got a little excited there. Got a little excited with that one. Oh my god. Got a little excited. Got a little intense. Serious. I'm serious. That was an inside joke, but okay. So Victor. Insider. Hi, Tori. Hi, Harshita. Hi, Priyanka. So you guys turn on notifications so that you can... Oh, I didn't realize it did that. Turn on notifications so that you can get notified when I go live, right when I go live, so that when I go live, you can come here into the chat, like just click on the notification that comes to you and then write in the chat. And if you are one of the first 3 people, you will get a free reading. So if you want to do that, that's the easiest way to get a free reading, is by turning on notifications. Okay, so use that bell icon down below and select all. It'll give you 3 options. Select all, and you'll be notified when I go live. And when you get that notification, just click it, come into the chat, write something, whatever it is. You can even write a dot. Just make it known that you are one of the first 3 people, and we will go from there. Okay, you guys, I really appreciate your donations, your time, your effort, your energy, your support, your participation, and I can't wait to see you in a few hours. Bye.